course I have passion for my 49ers.
I am not going to back down on this one. Sometimes I go extra hard just to prove my point.
No, you don't get to have it both ways.
It's head-to-head. It's mano-y-mano. It's 49ers face-off. And I get to wear these cool gear today because I am the referee for these two fine gentlemen today.
Accurate.
We have some good topics to be getting into. We have, of course, Alex over here on this side. Alex is going to get to say hi to everyone to you in a second. And we've got JHill over to this side. This is going to be a very, very good argument with a lot of fun things. Alex, would you like to say something before we get into this?
Yeah, I would like to say something. I'm looking forward to building on the dominant performance in episode 1 and going back to back all over you, Jay. What's up?
I mean, that is some skeptical, completely false pandering to the crowd right there.
I mean,
oh man,
I don't know about pandering and or false.
I don't know about this one.
The only accurate statement made so far is that I did win last time.
We're definitely going to see him get exposed
saying.
This week, folks. He's going to be exposed big time.
And now it's time for the mythical flipping of the coin. And the winner of the coin toss this time is Jason. So, Jason, you're going to get to decide if Alex gets to go first or if you're going first.
I will always defer.
Ooh, he's going to always defer. So let's get...
Then I obviously have to receive.
That's a personal problem.
Let's get into this. And right away, the first topic of conversation is what is going to be the 49ers record this season? What is going to be the record? How many games are they going to win? How many games are they going to lose? Please cite exact points and make sure you are specific in your points.
Okay,
Alex, the time is yours.
The time is mine, and that's great because I have to be consistent with what I've already stated on this podcast. Nothing has happened so far that has made me change off of my initial point, which was losses most likely to the Colts, losses most likely to the Tennessee Titans, and I forget who the other team was that I had named off in my original list. But I have the 49ers going 14-3. Now, my counterpart over here will probably think that's bold. Wow, that's really bold.
Whoa.
But it's not
Fanboy
actually
status. Fanboy status.
It's not actually that bold. It actually makes logically a lot of sense.
That would
this
be
defense
6-0 in our division. That's insane.
How so?
What if one of those losses for the Rams? That definitely wouldn't make it 6-0 in division.
And also, in fact, I think what my last loss is actually to the Rams.
Okay, well,
and
he didn't
correct.
say that though.
He said he couldn't remember the.
I couldn't remember the last one, and just pointed out that is the case. It is the Rams.
I remember,
and it's the last game of the season because the Niners rest starters.
5-1 still.
I mean, where are you sitting at, Jason?
I'm in that 11-6, maybe 12-5 at best.
Oh my goodness gracious! And
we have a sliding scale. I said specifically. So you need to be specific, Jason. I'm going to give you a warning on this one because I don't want to go and grab all your time right away. So please commit to an actual record, please, sir.
I'm going to say 12-5. Best case scenario, 12-5.
Best case scenario is 12-5. So who are the losses to then? Because I gave you my 3 losses, right? Colts, Titans, in Tennessee, and the Rams last game of the season. Who are your losses and why?
I think we lose in Seattle.
Well, for what reason?
It's been a house of horrors for us for a long time.
I'm aware of that, but it's gonna be a house of horrors for them this year. Their offensive line is pretty duty.
But we just you figure that Russell Wilson will always make something happen. So
I mean that's fair. That's not unfair.
I think that they will have Dwayne Brown back at some point here in the next couple weeks. It sounds like he'll get his money, so that'll help kind of start to at least get their line a little better.
Maybe.
I mean, it's a start. He's
one guy's going to fix all the problems, but okay.
Well, it's better than not having him.
I mean, that's true. That's true. On like the very basic minimum scale.
I do think that McVay gets us one time this year. Finally, again, it's been a couple years since he actually got by Kyle. So
I mean, they really couldn't get by Kyle last year with the depleted team. In 2019, they couldn't get by Kyle.
That was what I was referencing. But now they actually have an actual quarterback, though, too. So
I mean, that may be the case, but they lost their D coordinator. They lost some key pieces on the defense. You lose a guy like Samson.
There for 1 year, so.
listen, all I'm saying is their defense was elite last year with this guy at the helm. This guy is now gone. They've lost pieces on the defense. Down a running back, their main go-to running back.
I think.
What makes you think
Sony Michel's going to be pretty good for him?
I don't know if it'd be Cam Akers good, but we'll see. I guess we'll have to see there.
Not Cam Akers good, but I also thought that he was a potential guy to be in the Pro Bowl. So
okay, I mean, we'll see. He hasn't been able to stay healthy the last few years.
I like that, Jason.
That's about the only thing you're gonna like.
You're a Florida State guy, so
about Cam Akers, but I also prefer the Sony Michel. I like that.
He does. He is a big Sony Michel guy.
I am.
So then who else? Because that's just 2 losses there. So you got one to the Rams, you got one to the Seahawks. Where else are these other losses coming from? Do you have the Colts loss like I do as well?
That game toss up to me. I don't, because it depends on which Carson Wentz they have this year, and is T.Y. Hilton back? But I mean, it looks like they're on the verge of either them or the Jets of kind of being this year's version of us, where they're just hit by massive injuries. So fair. I mean, that's my prediction was made before the rash of crazy injuries that was going on over there. So I mean, that could swing the other way. So then who else? Where are these other losses at? Because I'm trying to find them on the 49ers schedule, and I can't find them. And that was one of the things that we talked about during that episode where we gave the prediction show, was it felt very difficult to find these losses because all these games felt really, really close. And I felt this team is a better version of the team in 2019 that walked away with a very similar record. So now, don't say I'm contradicting myself here, but
we'll see. Usually if you preface that way,
you're about to contradict yourself. Don't do it, Jason.
I think they're the second best team in the conference.
Okay.
Behind Tampa. But I'm also looking at them playing Trey probably week 7 or week 8, him taking over.
Oh, my Lord.
And him having 1 or 2 games where he just plays like a rookie.
Do you really believe, in your heart of hearts, that Kyle Shanahan, if Trey is not 100% ready to take over this team and operate it at an elite level, is going to let the rookie just roll through the rest of the season? You really believe that?
Because I wouldn't be shocked if some team has a major injury at the quarterback position, or they just aren't happy with somebody like, say, Teddy Bridgewater and Drew Lock.
Okay. And
with the roster that they have, because that team is pretty good too, I could see Denver calling us and giving us a 2 or something to
You're not pulling the trigger on Jimmy Garoppolo for a 2 during the season when you can get a 2 for Jimmy Garoppolo in the offseason and make sure that you have the team you need and the quarterback room that you need to win the Super Bowl.
I'm looking at it from John Lynch's view of, do they want to risk him playing a ton when they have a good offer on the table and risk him getting hurt again, and then that value goes back down.
You have a 2-quarterback system. There's the chances of Jimmy Garoppolo being hurt with 2 quarterbacks playing in and out, going in and out, you can get Jimmy off the field, rest him at certain times. The likelihood of Jimmy getting hurt again is much, much lower than it has been in the past because he's not going to be playing as much. So for me, this argument boils down to, the value that you get for Jimmy Garoppolo right now versus what he brings to the team. What he brings to the team right now is stability to the quarterback room. You don't have to rely on a rookie to go out there and lead you. You can bank on both of these guys to try and get the job done this season. And his value, you just talked about a 2. The only way that this logically makes any sense to me whatsoever is if that pick is a 1. And if he's sharing snaps with Trey Lance, are they going to get a 1 for Jimmy Garoppolo right now?
It's possible.
Really? What team is
Sam
going to make
Bradford got 2 1s. So,
but he was also the first overall pick, Jason.
Yeah, but at that point in his career, he was not playing that well though. When
he also wasn't playing absolutely terrible at that point. He was kind of on that brink of he's still shown some things, right? The arm strength, things of that nature. He just had some bad decision making on top of the fact that it was just a bad situation there with the Rams at the time that he was there.
I was talking about when he was with the
Eagles to the Vikings. Well, if
he got 2 1s there.
If you remember, though, when he went to the Vikings, he actually balled out for the first little bit until he got hurt again.
But no, I'm just saying though that if a team is desperate, you never know what they'll give up. So,
I want to kind of get, because Jason's making some good points. Alex, you're making good points. Jason, what makes you think that they would be willing to trade? Like, what has John Lynch and Kyle Shanahan done that makes you think that they're going to trade Jimmy Garoppolo mid-season, or during this season? Because I am actually interested in your argument for this.
It's not necessarily anything that they've said or done. It's just a gut feeling that I have.
So a 4-letter response. Okay. ESPN.
No, I don't know much of ESPN. Sorry. What's ESPN? Is that
well,
like the?
Yeah. Jason, here's my thing is that it doesn't. I don't get how you're getting to where you're at. I don't disagree that if the value is there for Jimmy that you could make the move, but what team is going to be that desperate? There's no team that right now that's hurting that badly for a quarterback.
But injuries do happen. So
injuries do happen. But again, that's a shoulda, coulda, woulda. If we're being honest, that's not where we want to go.
I'm going to let it go on this one. I'm looking the other way. I'm looking at another part of the field.
That's smart. That's probably smart. Don't throw that flag just yet. The argument I'm making here is that it doesn't make any sense to move off from Jimmy when the value you can get for Jimmy later is the same as right now. You can ensure that your quarterback room is the room it's supposed to be and can get the job done to get you to a Super Bowl. You already know Jimmy can get you there. You take Jimmy, you add what Trey can do. You take both of those things.
Do we know, though, that if they don't have some kind of like a wink deal where it's like, hey, when the time does come to put Trey in there, we'll do our best to get you somewhere ASAP?
The conversation Kyle Shanahan has had with this team has been utilizing both guys. That is what's been put out there. That is what has been discussed. That's what Jimmy is here for this season. That's what Trey has been reading. Everyone has said the same thing. So how do you get that? How are you getting that they have a wink behind the door closed deal going on? The Niners don't leak anything, right? So
exactly.
Maybe that's where you're going with it. But you have to be able to
Mac Jones, right?
You have to be able to logically make a trail that follows to the point you're trying to make.
But
there
they
is
don't
no
allow
there's
anything
no
to be. So you just have to kind of hypothesize and think.
No, you have to logically try and make some sort of connection to things that have been said that aren't explicitly stated. We were on the Shanahan plan before Kyle Shanahan had even discussed or hinted at the fact that the Shanahan plan was going to be a thing. Because there are logical decisions and processes that were followed to that point in time, right? The things that Jimmy does well, the fact that Jimmy has weaknesses, the fact that you spent the draft capital that you spent on Trey Lance,
they do need to
it just made sense, right? Well, yes, but again, your argument is based on recouping these things right now, this season.
No, not right now.
But you're talking about this season.
If they think that Trey's 100% ready, there's no point to keep Jimmy just to keep him.
Agreed, but that wasn't the point that you made, and I'd like to throw a flag.
Okay. Before you throw a flag, I'd like to redirect this a little bit because I think the flag would be upheld. But I would like to say this is after what happened last year in 2019, and you had the injuries at the quarterback position, the way that the 49ers season was completely derailed because they couldn't get any positive play from the quarterback position, which we know if they would have made the playoffs. They were still good enough even with the injuries. You think that Kyle Shanahan is ready to move off one of these quarterbacks, and that quarterback would be Jimmy Garoppolo, and risk the problem of Trey Lance getting hurt, which he has a chip in his finger right now, and missing football games, and them having to go to a Nate Sudfeld and putting themselves in the same situation they were in last year. Is the risk worth the reward to get a second-round pick now when you could ultimately get maybe a second or third-round pick in the offseason? Is the juice really worth the squeeze? I mean, this gets back to my kind of overall thought of in Kyle and in John, I trust. So if they get up there and say, hey, guys, we've sent him to wherever for a 2 and a 3 or 2 and a 4, a 1 and a 5, something like that, and they say, we're 100% confident in Trey going forward from this day on, then I feel like with as great of a coach he is, and with the amazing job that John has done just bringing in player after player, that we have to at least give them the benefit of the doubt.
You didn't answer the question.
I mean, you're making a good point, but it doesn't answer the question of why they would actually make that move. Because you don't have anyone behind Trey Lance that you believe can actually, win football games.
Josh Rosen's out there still.
Oh, my Lord almighty. Goodness gracious, he just lost the argument. Didn't even realize it. Doesn't even realize
you guys love Josh so much.
Yeah.
Look, man.
We have no time for Josh.
No one has time for
zero time.
Josh's parents don't have time.
Yikes.
Apparently, Chris Collinsworth has no time for him either.
Look, here we got way off topic too on this.
Yeah,
the reality of the situation was that we're supposed to be talking about records.
So explain to me how you have them losing to the Titans. Then
it's when it is.
It's when it is, where it's
Tennessee.
at, the fact that you have a dominant run game with them there. That's always been a question mark for the 49ers front line, that front group, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's late in the season. There may be things that you're trying out, more film on the Shannon plan. It's just going to be a tough scenario at that point in time, on top of who we're coming off of at that time and who the Tennessee Titans are coming off of at that time as well.
There's a lot that plays into it. Finding losses for the 49ers is difficult, no matter how you look at it. And I think that their team is even better now than we all thought it was when the games came out. But yeah, let's reel this back in, because we were talking about what the records were, and we know that Alex went with a 14-3. Jason went reluctantly with a 12-5, but he did actually lock it down this time. No sliding scales, which I appreciate. So we got that. But then the question is, where do they finish in the NFC West? This is going to be, Jason, you're going to lead off in this one, because I think this is going to be interesting to see where it is. You talked about them being really good in the NFC, but where do they finish in this NFC West? You talked about the Rams and McVay getting the best of the 49ers at least one time. Does that mean that the Rams are ultimately going to overtake the 49ers this season and win the West?
I got Seattle going 10-7, maybe 11-6, best case.
Sliding scenario.
Jeez Louise.
You gotta, whatever.
No, you make a prediction, you stick to it.
Be
Okay,
bold.
Skip.
My gut,
courage of my convictions.
my gut
Skip,
tells me it could be A, or it also could be B.
The
Jeez,
the
Louise.
Kyler Murray's 8-9, 9-8 at best. I don't trust Cliff Kingsbury at all. Dude should be fired. I hope that they keep him around longer, because as long as they have him, they'll never be as good as they should be. He should have stayed as USC's offensive coordinator. I got the Rams going 13-4 and actually winning the division by one game.
Whew, it's stuck. He's stuck at 13-4. I'm going to hang on to that because he got one.
It'll be the only time it ever happens.
And winning the division, Alex.
No, it's the 49ers. 49ers are going to win the division at 14-3, obviously.
That's why this is like,
look, you can call Homer. You can make all the comments you want to make over there, Jason.
Too.
I mean, that's fine. This is the best defense in the NFC West, hands down, bar none. The best
hands
front
down,
four. Yes,
hands down.
It's the best front four in all of football. Best front seven in all of football, arguably.
Who's better?
I mean, you can make the face. Who is it then? Who is better than this front seven?
I mean, you're making it sound like they're light years better than the Rams.
Who? Then their front seven? Name two starters from the Rams linebacking core.
You got Aaron Donald.
Name two starters from their linebacking core, Jason.
You've got Aaron
They're
Donald.
so great. No, they're so good. They're not light years. The Niners front seven isn't light years better. Name two.
I would like to point out that you pointed out twice that they have Aaron Donald. I'm surprised Alex did not counter with, we have Daniel Brunskill.
We do, actually. I was saving that one in the pocket.
I was like, come on, take it.
You said Aaron Donald. That's one guy.
But one guy
Jason,
can change the whole defense, though, because you have to send two guys to him at all times. So
or Daniel Brunskill.
You just put Daniel Brunskill over there and you're fine. What are you talking about? We have the Aaron Donald stopper.
Yeah. So
he's 2-0 against Aaron Donald in his career. I'm just saying.
So wait. So you were talking about
the front seven,
how great their defense was last year.
The front
right?
for the Rams, correct? Right. They lost two or three of those pieces.
They lost a couple of guys to the Browns, so.
And you also lost Samson Ebicom over here to San Francisco.
He was a backup for them.
I mean, that's fine, but he was on the field playing a lot of significant downs for them.
And he's not going to be starting for us either. So
I mean, he's not going to be starting for us, but he's going to have a huge impact this year. If you don't think that's the case,
as long as D Ford stays healthy, then
you should have watched our show that came on about the 53 man, where we talked about setup mans and closers. D Ford's the closer. Ed becomes a setup man.
I was going to watch it actually this evening after Monday Night Raw. So.
Oh, very nice. There you go.
But look, that's not the point. We're getting off topic again, because the point of the matter here is, Jason, the Niners front seven. You haven't said anything that takes away from the argument here that the Niners front seven is one of the best, if not the best, in football, and it's bar none
the best in football.
Argument, yes.
Cleveland Browns would have something to say about that too, but
yes, agreed with you. Washington football team's front seven has been pretty.
3.5 sacks.
Yeah, he'll do a whole heck of a lot over there. But again, my point wasn't they're the best. They're arguably the best, but in the NFC West, in the NFC West, it's not close.
J.J. Watt on line one, duh.
You've named, again, two teams and
Chandler
one guy.
Jones. And Chandler Jones.
Congratulations, there's two. If Chandler Jones ends up not getting traded, seeing as you wanted out.
He's
Can you name anyone else on that Arizona Cardinals defense? And don't say Zaven Collins because he just got arrested.
He did. That's true.
Wow.
I mean, listen, I'm a big fan of Zaven Collins.
You are. I broke my
heart too. I can't believe he did that. It's all Cliff Kingsbury's fault. He's got that nice house up on the hill.
Oh,
these guys are buying expensive cars and driving fast.
I believe it's Isaiah Simmons from Clemson.
Yeah, that's true. Name another one.
That's true.
You could have said Budda Baker too.
Also could have said Budda Baker, but that's secondary. That's not going to be the front seven, although he technically plays in the box a lot. So I guess he's
not as good as the defensive end from Seattle.
The defensive end from Seattle.
That was like, no, he's not.
Look, my point still stands. This front seven is still better. I mean, listen, J.J. Watt is still J.J. Watt. That's great, but is J.J. Watt still one of the elite defensive linemen still in the league?
No.
He hasn't been able to stay healthy. He does a lot of good things. Javon Kinlaw, up-and-coming guy. DJ Jones, very solid where he is at. Player. On top of the fact that you have Arik Armstead, Nick Bosa. Okay, that's your opinion. Nick Bosa, D Ford, Samson Ebukam,
Armstead is a $16 million guy.
Personal foul on Jason. Right. I cannot take the Arik Armstead slander on this show, so I'm giving you a warning, sir. That's definitely a personal foul.
That's a second. No. That's a second warning too.
He's a $16 million guy who had 3 sacks last year because he had nobody good around him.
Oh, it couldn't have been that he was playing out of position. Now, I'm not even supposed to be in this argument, so I'm not getting into this.
Thank you, because you're going to take the point I was going to make, which was playing entirely out of position.
He does great when he's got D Ford and Bosa on the outside. He's a nice player. He's an $8 to $10 million a year player. He's not a $16 million player.
Hey, let me ask you something, Jason.
Go ahead.
There's a lot of other D linemen. There's a lot of other D linemen who make more money than Arik Armstead in the league. In fact, Arik Armstead is,
and they're a lot more.
Hey, guess what?
Too.
Arik Armstead is actually right in the kind of almost in the middle salary wise with D linemen in terms of where it's supposed to be.
Would you be happier
long term
if he made $10 million or $18 million?
With this group, I'm fine with him making what he makes now.
That's not what I asked.
But that's the answer to the question.
You know what you're.
I'm fine with him making
whatever
this
they pay
group.
you.
Yeah, with this group, Arik Armstead deserves to be paid.
If I could get rid of one guy off our team right now, I get rid of him. Go ahead for because
who's starting?
Go ahead, make your points.
Who's starting? Who's starting?
That's more slander.
Who's starting then? Who's starting? If Arik Armstead's gone, who's starting? Who's going to fill that hybrid role, interior and exterior?
Exactly. But
exactly.
We got Ebukam.
Doesn't matter.
And Bosa
exactly.
And Ford. So
you had to think
with Kinlaw and DJ.
You had to think about it. You had to think about it long and hard before you can come to a conclusion. Because the fact of the matter is that there's nobody that does what Arik Armstead does on the exterior and the interior.
Million. Yeah, that's true. 3 sacks for $16 million.
Man, playing out of position for an entire season is really, really difficult.
He's too slow to play outside.
He's a base 4-3 guy who can move in on the interior on pass rush downs. That's what he does.
In the interior.
He moves in on the interior.
He should stay inside the whole time.
He moves into the interior on pass rush down, Jason, because of his speed that he has. It's hard for guards on top of the length. Listen, you can make the complaints all you want, but his role with this team since he's been here is an exterior guy who moves inside. Who moves inside on pass rushing downs and has success. So you want to take away the fact that last year he was forced to play outside for the entirety of the 2020 year. Will you address anything that is being discussed, or are you just going to do this where you talk over, right? You avoid the actual comments being made and just say whatever you want. Is that what we're going to do the whole time?
No, but
yes, that's exactly what we're going to do the whole time, man. That's fine. That's fine.
If that's what it takes to win, yeah. He had one good year.
I guess we have different definitions of what winning is.
when he had Buckner and Bosa and Ford, he had one good year. Before that, he was average at best. Because last year, when all those guys were gone, out of position or whatever, he still did not produce. For $16 million a year. Now, see, if this is baseball, where there's no cap, then pay him whatever. Who cares? But when there's a hard cap, $16 million for a guy who's our 4th or 5th best D lineman is too much.
Thank you for addressing the fact.
I do think there's going to be people on both sides of this. Where some people are going to agree with Jason and some people are going to agree with Alex. It's a very, very good argument because Armstead did struggle last year in some people's eyes to produce.
Playing out of position.
He was playing out of position. He did see a lot more double teams than he's ever seen before, which could be the cost and effect of the Bosa thing. But once again, we've kind of gotten off topic As far as that, so we did establish that Jason said that.
I mean, the reason we got off. I mean, if we're being honest, Mr. Official, the reason we got off topic is because Jason can't answer an actual question or rebuttal anything. He has to go off on tangents on crazy things.
Yeah, what we got is actually I thought he was making some decent points there. I'm not going to go out there and say it was completely false. But what I will say is that we got established that Alex picked the 49ers to win the West. Jason picked the Rams to pick the West or win the West, with the 49ers finishing second. Just so everyone is clear, are you guys sticking with those calls?
Yes.
That way everyone's clear, so when they vote on who wins, they know where you guys are sitting.
Rams second place for me, Seattle after that in third, Arizona Cardinals.
And I'm sure you have the Kyler Murray's finishing last as well, so Seattle would be third. Jason?
Yeah.
Okay, so we're on the same page. Yeah. So now we're going to get into the drive, the final part where we get to decide who is going to ultimately win this. Each contestant is going to have 1 minute to make their argument. Are you guys ready for this? So,
yes.
We want to talk about the pecking order in the NFC. Where do the 49ers sit amongst the best in the NFC? Do they have the possibility of getting to the NFC Championship, ultimately winning the Super Bowl? This is a good question. So, Jason, you won the toss initially, so do you want Alex to go first, or would you like to go ahead and take your minute first?
This one to wow the crowd with.
Wow.
Ooh, okay.
Bold.
I like your strategy there. This should be very, 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 very interesting. Go ahead, sir.
So sometimes your record is who you are. Sometimes your record does not indicate who you are. I did say that they will not win the division, but I do think they are the second best team in the entire conference, though. So I will say that, and I think we can go on the road anywhere except for probably Tampa. I think it would be a little too hard to beat Tom in January in Tampa. But other than that, if something happens and Bucks do get bounced out somehow, or Tom throws 3 picks in the second half, somewhat other than Lambeau, I would expect this to be in the Super Bowl, because nobody else really scares me after the entire year that they've had to kind of grow into the Shanna plan, or whatever they call it, and get our young guys like Kinlaw up to speed.
Yeah, are you done with your time?
Yeah.
It's not whatever they call it. It is the Shanna.
All right. So look, this is really, really simple, and I won't even address any of the nonsense this man has been spouting off today.
Because he can't.
The San Francisco 49ers are the best team in the NFC. It's hands down, bar none. It's going to be the situation. Are they the best team right now? No. But by the end of the season, they will be. They will be, if not the 1 seed, the 2 seed for sure. And as for a team that can't beat Tampa Bay in Tampa, I love how you're talking over my time right now. It's absolutely really impressive. But the fact that they can definitely go into Tampa Bay and win. And I've said this, and I'll say it again, and this is my last point here. The 49ers, right? This team made changes, Ant. They made changes, everyone. They changed their roster. They changed the way they are approaching the game of football. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers brought everybody back. They're trying to repeat and basically carbon copy what they did last year and do it again this year. In order to be a champion, something has to change. You need to change something about your process. The 49ers have done that. That's what gives them the heads up.
Yes, and before we go any further, I didn't want to cut off Alex while he was in the middle of the statement, but we have encroachment on Jason for going ahead and just talking during the drive. So, Alex, if you would like a little bit of extra time, you are free and allotted that time to go ahead and make a further point. We will award you 15 seconds of time because we had an encroachment on Jason.
It's fine. I know I just scored on the drive, so I'll decline the penalty and take the touchdown.
Okay, we'll go ahead and give you a 2-point conversion on that.
He just threw a pick 6, for God's sakes.
There was definitely not a pick 6. It was 2 very well thought out arguments by both of you. I thought you both made good points. Overall, this is a very good discussion in this episode. No matter what side of the aisle you're on, as a 49er fan, I think everyone has different opinions. Being able to express those opinions is part of the fun. You get to see somebody else's point of view on the subject. And I think it was really good. I thought both of you did a very good job in your arguments, and Jason has definitely hit a bounce back this time. But what does everyone else think about this argument? Who came out on top? Which arguments are you going for? Are you going for the arguments that Alex made? Are you going for the arguments that JHill made? Let us know in the comment section. Let us know who won this battle of face-off. And remember, no matter what side of the aisle you're on, we're still 49er fans. We're all going to get behind each other and have some fun. But Alex, This was exciting. I know that you enjoyed it. So do you have any final thoughts about this episode and where we're going with Face Off in the future?
No, I mean, I loved everything about it. Jason, you definitely stepped up the game today. I really appreciate that. But keep that Arik Armstead slander at the door. My God. Keep it away.
Jason?
I thought I whooped the crap out of him today. I think we should call in for a body bag to drag. Get him a body bag. His carcass off the turf here. He got beat up there pretty good.
Yeah, very humble you are.
Not only humble, couldn't be any more wrong than that. Holy cow.
Yeah, but thank you for watching 49ers Face Off. And there are lots of great ways that you can consume even more 49ers Cutback content. You can get it right here by becoming a channel member. And then you get,
early access to videos.
You can private live streams.
That's coming up soon. Channel member live streams.
Yeah. Or you can hop over to Patreon, join our Patreon, get all 22 film. Alex, you can also get, what is the new show that we just did?
Big Yikes.
Yeah, Big Yikes.
Big Yikes.
It was so much fun. I had a lot of fun.
Describes Alex's performance.
Ooh,
that was a big yikes.
Big yikes right there.
Big yikes
maybe some of Jason's takes end up on that show eventually.
Big yikes indeed.
Yeah,
could happen. It could happen. Look, though, there's a lot of ways that Ant just talked about. Whether it's on Patreon with Big Yikes, Cut Back in Time, the all 22 films which are coming soon, fantasy football content, as well as Madden gameplay also coming to Patreon this week. You don't want to miss any of that. Also, we only got a few days left to sign up for both the Fantasy League and the Madden League, so hop on over to the community page, check that out, get signed up if you're interested. Only a few spots left, so make sure you get involved in that. But yeah, we got lots of great content coming out. Lots of great things coming to YouTube for free, all up in your face. You're not going to want to miss any of it.
And you do not want to miss the live stream that's going to be coming up later today because the 49ers are about to cut to 53, and we're going to be going live to talk all about it. It's going to be exciting. Come join it. Come join us. Have this talk about how the 49ers come up with their final 53.
Going to be very, very interesting. We'll see how accurate we actually were. But until next time, 49ers fans and the Cutback crew, you stay safe.
Remember, the right way is always the 49ers way.